Welcome back, everybody. It's our last game of today. It is Team Dignitas up against 4FC. These teams, they've already met. They played last night. They didn't finish Game 2, though. They only played Game 1, which 4FC won, and fairly convincingly at that. Dignitas, they're 0-3 in Group B of WePlay Dota 2, but we'll see if they can recover. Joining me, of course, is Luminous.
I am back, and it seems like 1437 has been kicked off.
No.
Picking. So
Oh, kicked off picking. Yeah, he's still here, but...
Not really.
5 seconds remain.
Damn.
No longer the drafter. PPD says, I got this. And, well, same opening, Weaver and OD. So Infinity has some, let's just say, questionable moves last game. Last game with the Weaver back
Yeah.
time lapse.
I've seen him play amazing on Weaver, but that was disaster.
I think, those type of plays you make, and if it works out, everybody will be, in awe of saying, hey, this guy is a player. He's awesome, blah, blah, blah. But when it doesn't, you just, have the question mark. So I don't think we need to be too hard for Infinity.
Yeah. Well, right away, 4FC respond with the Razors, so they'll be looking to use that up against the OD. But we'll have to see if Dignitas go for their little lane switcheroo once again. Put the Weaver mid, put OD in the safe lane, because that's something they tried to do last game, but somewhat ineffectively, as Empire just read them too well.
Team Dignitas' turn to ban.
Second stage being banned out of Baden. Hero that we haven't seen in the past couple of days. I think we've seen it once or twice. But getting still a lot of respects here coming out from these teams.
Yep. Surprised to not see like the early Rubik picks, which you often get against Weaver. Rubik is so powerful when you can be stealing that Shikuchi, but definitely something 4FC probably look towards with their third and fourth pick if it's still in the draft. They've got one of their supports in the Naga Siren. The other big hero still in the pool, of course, the Lifestyle. I don't think Dignitas should go for the Lifestyle. I think it's just not enough farm to go between those three heroes, but something that could definitely fit into the 4FC lineup.
I think last game the draft was fine. It's just the way that they approached the mid to late game. Getting kind of caught out by Clockwork over and over and over again wasn't exactly a winning recipe. So we'll see how it goes. As for the Rubik comment here, normally I agree. I think opening up with the Naga Rubik is a completely okay strategy. But when you already have a Razor who requires a lot of farm, requires a lot of experience, but doesn't give you as much damage output, then I'm not sure what a Rubik as a support justifies. Maybe you need a support that does a ton more damage or a ton more lockdown. Whereas Rubik's kind of like in that nebulous zone of having some lockdown, having some damage, but not really necessarily enough on either department.
Okay. Well, second ban stage now getting underway. As you said, Abaddon banned out, and it seems to be, it was the same thing that Empire banned out against them as well. Having these heroes to help keep Weaver and OD alive in lane. Weaver with an Abaddon, obviously fantastic for diving and being aggressive, and just to keep OD alive can be really big and influential. So they're not going to stop there. They also ban out the Trim Protector. Yeah,
might as well go. If you're gonna ban out Abaddon, might as well ban out the tree. I still am not convinced that either of these two heroes are that strong. But teams are definitely scared or respecting the power of these heroes, so we're not going to see it this game.
Okay, well, do you think Dignitas then, as far as you said last game their draft was fine, so they go for something similar with an offensive tri lane here, or do you think they'll maybe just put Weaver as an offlane hero?
That's a good question. I think it's a little bit too early to tell right now, because it is somewhat dangerous to go against an offensive tri lane that, for example, features a Naga Siren, because, for example, if you're ever misstepping under tower, you get ensnared and you're probably dead. So, Riptide is definitely a hard spell to actually go up against in an offensive tri lane.
Yeah, and bring back the Naga Marana even.
Yeah. I mean, that's a very good lane, no matter where you put it. So.
Yep. Well, Gyrocopter are going to be the ban for now. I like this ban. 4FC, they can't raise it like we've talked about. It doesn't actually do a whole lot of damage. He's good kind of in the laning stage. With the static link, he can get up to a ton of damage, but it's just entirely single target damage, which is where you want to have that second core hero on your team. Where Gyrocopter fits in fantastic as a safe lane farmer. So definitely a ban that makes sense if you're Dignitas. You're more worried about a Gyrocopter than I feel like your Alchemist or your traditional hard carries.
Yeah, I think banning BKB carries is where you're at. I'm actually surprised by the Lone Druid ban out, because I feel like OD and Weaver matches up quite well against Lone Druid. Perhaps they're still remembering yesterday when they played against 4FC, and Krillie's Lone Druid was just big and beastly and unstoppable. Yep. So maybe it was just a little bit of a respect ban. But I think OD matches up very well against Lone Druid in the sense that his orbs with pure damage goes through his high armor and basically could chop down his high HP pool. And of course, Sanity's Eclipse, a way to deal with apparently Razor last game we saw.
Yeah.
And now a way to deal with Lone Druid. I'm surprised that gets banned out. But there is a Rubik pick. Not much of a pick, but more so of a counter pick.
Yeah. prevent 4FC getting it, and it's just
Yeah.
a solid all-around supporting its own merits. But 4FC go Chen here, and it looks like they were maybe planning that anyways. They didn't take much time to pick this up, so their two supports pretty much decided. It's going to be Chen, Naga, Saren, and this is very familiar. This is very close to what Empire just drafted. They won't get the Gyrocopter, but the same two supports. We're looking at Razor as a solid mid. It's a decentish draft. It does sort of lack damage output right now, and that's something they're going to have to fix with these last two picks.
Team Dignitas is going to pick up a Bounty Hunter, which I guess they're expecting kind of a chaotic early to mid game where track could perhaps push them into, insane territory of gold. But a similar story from a draft that we just witnessed. A draft that doesn't feature too much early game, just kind of want to withstand the punishment that's thrown against them. And hopefully they do well in mid game. I think by seeing the third core Bounty Hunter here, 4FC could just go Pusher on the fourth pick, fifth pick Pusher. And what is a team that has Weaver, OD, Bounty Hunter going to do to stop your push?
Yeah, maybe
There's
that's
nothing
what
they can do.
Yeah, Dignitas may be scared of that, so they ban out the Lone Druid, but there's still a number of heroes that can provide extra pushing power that they could
'Cause, I
go
mean,
for instead.
Naga and Chen is already decent pushing from
Yeah.
support. Razor could chop down a couple of creeps. I mean, if you go, give me two good pushing support here, carry-wise. I mean, if you want to put Lashrak as a carry and push with that, that's fine.
It wouldn't be too bad. I guess most of the pushing here is left to guide kind of your supports, your Leshrac, your Shadow Shaman. As far as carries go that can push, Lifestealer's not too bad, just because of the magic immunity, and he does do a decent amount of damage, but he's not like a hard pushing carry hero. Timbersaw not a pushing hero, but is a strong hero in his own right.
Timbersaw perhaps picked so that they don't get a counter push. Or, yeah, Chakram as a counter push. Although that's something that 4FC has to be very careful about, is to not give Chakram away to that Rubik. Rubik getting Chakram means your push is done. But Timbersaw not necessarily hit tower really hard. He does destroy creep wave very quickly, and more importantly, makes it so much more difficult for Team Dignitas to defend, because if a Timbersaw is running towards you, you generally have to back off. So
Yeah, it looks like it will be an off-lane Timbersaw with the Razor likely to go 1v1 against the OD at mid lane. So, how does the Weaver versus Timbersaw matchup pan out, do you think? Do you feel either hero with a big edge there?
I think Timbersaw perhaps has a slight edge depending how much regen he has.
Yep.
Simply because the fact that his reactive armor really kind of, I want to say, cancels out Gemini attack. And the fact that Weaver likes to harass with, Sakuchi in the melee range, in which case she's rolling death. I feel like Weaver could, in theory, get caught out by a rolling death and probably a Chakram at level 6 and get killed. Whereas Timbersaw will rarely get killed in a 1v1 matchup, so.
Alright. 4FC still need... It looks like some kind of a carry here. The Clockwork ban kind of suggests maybe Dignitas are expecting a safe lane or a tri-lane Razor, but I'd be surprised if Razor isn't mid, just because of the OD matchup there. Although, as we sort of talked about and saw last game, Dignitas don't mind putting OD in the safe lane, but this looks to me more like a standard OD mid Weaver tri-lane coming out from Dignitas.
I think Troll Warlord would actually do okay here as a...
Yeah, as a tri-lane farmer for 4FC.
Yeah, or offensive
A
tri-lane.
pushing hero too.
And pushing heroes, insanely powerful at that, so... I mean, if they want to go something like a little bit more traditional, like Beastmaster, that would actually do okay as well. Stacking a couple of auras. I feel like the way that 4FC or the way that Team Dignitas House has drafted themselves into 3 cores, no counter pushes, somewhat dangerous. Like, name one AoE spell in this lineup, right? You have Fable, that's it. And maybe you could count Swarm as an AoE spell.
Midnight Pulse.
Yeah. If you're counting Midnight Pulse to defend against AoE, you're in deep trouble.
Stolen Chakram.
Stolen Chakram, yeah.
Shikuchi. There you go. I've listed 4.
That's
good.
That's definitely what you see in
stretching it, yeah.
Wombo Combo, all
No.
day.
No, I definitely pushing it there. 4FC do have the ability to take down towers fairly early, especially to get ahead with it. Any draft with a Chen, I feel. I think the good news is Dignitas haven't gone for like their game 1 draft against Empire with the Queen of Pain. Mirana still in the pool, does get snagged up, so this will be your tri-lane hero, and I like this pick. They can go offensive tri-lane with it if they want to. Obviously, if they somehow get the Chen into the enemy jungle, but that should be fine. There's just a Rubik Weaver lane. Enigma's going to be in the jungle, so not something that can really stop the Chen getting up there, but even if they go safe lane with this Mirana, it still works out pretty well for them.
Yeah, they could very well just put Timbersaw up top, and he actually would do absolutely fine against Korok, PPD, and even with the Enigma Genki out jungle. Like, he would just cast his Timber Chain, get very far away. Sure, he's going to get Malefice stunned a couple more times, but at that point, his reactive armor is up to his full amount. He's tangling up, and should in theory be okay.
It's not like they've got burst damage, which will just negate the reactive armor. A lot of it's going to come from... They have Disable with Malefic's Lift, which means they're going to be doing physical damage in between, and that's where you
Right.
get a ton of
10
reactive
seconds
charges. You're
remaining.
blocking so much of that. And, well, we'll see Strangby picking up the Mirana, so
5 seconds
looks
remaining.
like it will be, I guess, trial lane farming Mirana, and I think 4FC have a solid draft all around. Dignitas themselves, though, I don't feel like they've been outdrafted necessarily.
It depends on how 4FC plays this. I still think that if 4FC decides to do a 10-15 minute push with a decent amount of pushing items, like your Shen with Arcane Mech, 3 Centaurs or whatever, and you just crash down at Dignitas' tower, what do they do? Trek and Swarm? Like, they don't really do much. And alright, here's the solo mid Boots of Speed bottle, or Boots of Speed metagaming, because this is what you see in Signa Cup all day, where OD goes mid, buys Boots first, because you expect the Razor to buy Boots first as well.
Yeah, well, the Razor won't be buying boots first on the 4FC side. He's just gone Wraith Band, which will make it a bit harder to actually get that static link off. But we'll introduce our Radiant team. It is 4FC. Blom is going to be playing the Razor. We're going to have Edward Blom playing the Naga Siren. This is going to get very confusing. Boomski is going to be playing the Chen here. They're going for some D-Ward versus D-Ward action here at top. It's just a sentry on sentry here, so... What? What?
30
What?
seconds to battle.
That is not what PPD meant to do.
Well, we had...
I'm confused. He dropped a second sentry ward there. I think thinking his sentry ward had died, but it was his observer ward that died. So he lost his observer ward. His sentry was still up, and they were like dewarding.
He lost a Sentry Ward too. Let's just put it at that.
Yeah. And Chen still with one observer ward left. I think both teams with one observer ward left, but both double sentry being used here. So if they block this pull, there's no sentries left to actually deward it. But I think they'd maybe rather have rune vision. Do you think?
That's... Well, apparently not. They blocked the pull. I think Rune Visions has to be important because you're trying to protect your OD mid from ganks, which, you know, he's fairly weak against. If Stramby comes on the mid lane and lands arrow, then you're dunzo, as they say. Now, there's a couple people asking in chat, like, how does this, counter actually work? They're saying, why does Razor actually counter OD? And guys, if you want to give it a go in terms of explaining, because as a lane, can you just Astro him, and that'll be okay?
Well, once you have your third skill, your unstable current, you Astral, it still goes through the Astral, so you're still stealing damage, and also you can't really spam Astral on Razor at all because of his third skill. Generally, you see the static link and the unstable current build, so in general, this is just a tough matchup. Well, not so much, it's not like a losing matchup for OD, you still have decent-ish damage and can do okay, but it's not particularly favorable.
Yeah, you can see that, Bloom's doing a good job lasting and denying against OD. Right now, Infinity's got 2-1, and Razor working with 5-1. He's actually going up on the hill, kind of harassing him away. And Bloom, he just needs to go boots of speed first, and once he does, well, suddenly the boots advantage that Infinity's got is no more.
Yeah, even with the boots first, Bloom can still just deal like 15 damage. Oh, it looks even just 2 ticks of it, so to get 7 damage during a second is still not bad. And he's not going to be too worried about this starting how things start off here, because once he gets more levels, has more points in unstable current, this matchup gets even harder for Infinity.
Yeah, to me, it's not really the damage that you could steal. It's the fact that you just force him back. As a solo mid, you don't ever want to be forced back from the creep wave. You want to force them back, and the threat of stealing damage is the fact that's forcing Infinity back from the creep wave. And Bloom's got his go for the boot speed if you want to buy it now. Maybe he's going to go for the bottle instead. We'll see. But back on the top lane here, how's this trialing been working out? We do not see any levels of Edward Bloom right now in terms of his spell.
Yep.
Why is there so many Blooms in this game? There's Bloom mid, there's Edward Bloom top.
This I do not know. We've got Edward and just we'll call the other guy Bloom maybe. Or we'll call them by their hero names. But PPD going to scout out Edward here on the Naga Siren. Not going to see much.
He shouldn't be there because if you get ensnared, you're dead. Like I don't even know why he's
There's
there.
only the two. They don't have the Chen at top yet. Chen.
I mean, ensnare with the arrow and then the Riptide, he's definitely dead, right?
I would say no.
Okay.
500 HP I think is enough to survive it. If it's a full 5-second arrow, maybe you do die.
No, I don't think he's even close. Riptide will bring him up to like -3 armor or -2 armor, and then you right click with leap and stuff like that. But
Yeah. I think once now that Mirana's level 3, yeah, you're looking at a dead Rubik. But I think level 1 in snare plus arrow is never going to be enough. But we've got the level 2 in these heroes, and Chen has rotated top. Needs to be careful. He is not. Yeah, Naga Siren going to come over. They need to sort of stick together because one of these heroes gets caught out alone, they can go down. Razor still doing his thing at mid lane with the Static Link, and I guess the final thing we didn't mention as far as winning this matchup, Static Link costs no mana at all. It's 20 mana, 30 mana at level 2. It does go up by 10 each level, but you basically use it whenever it's up on the OD.
Yeah. It does have a fairly long cooldown, a lot longer than the Astro, but, you know, it's completely fine. Now the boot, you can see the boot, yeah, Bloom just runs towards OD. OD backs off. OD forced to even get a bottle, but back in the top lane here looks like Mirana, and a little bit of trouble. Chen in big trouble as well. And the arrow gonna get Delta splitted. That should be it. Brimsky on the run, but the Malefice stun coming back in. That's gonna be first plus. Trimby needs to run. You can't actually tank 6 Eidolon damage. Enigma coming out of the gank, being the X factor for the team. Korok still chasing. A couple more Gemini attacks being fired off, but that's all they got. And to be honest, Dignitas should be very happy with that.
Ooh, they almost lose the Chen Dark Troll summon as well to the Weaver. Survives on 20 HP there, so nicely played by Dignitas, and you just can't just throw the arrow and just hope for it to land like that. That's something where 4FC just got caught out in no man's land. They didn't have the ensnare to initiate with, and they got punished for it.
Yeah. Well, Korok should be fairly happy with that engagement. He has to go enough to pick up his magic stick, which is very, very important in terms of surviving a trialing versus trialing engagement.
Yep.
But so far, he still hasn't done yet. On the bot lane here, Krilly on his Timbersaw actually maxing Whirling Death. This is not something we see too often, but in a more melee-based matchup, that's kind of what you want. I mean, Zai has 2 points in Janata, 2 points
It is
in
becoming the
Shuriken
most common build, I would say, the Whirling Death Max.
instead of
Timber Chain.
reactive armor max, or at least reactive armor at
You never max reactive. At most, you get 2 points.
Get 2 points, right? And so far, I'm confused that he doesn't have the second point.
I don't think you need 2 against Bounty Hunter. It's so favorable of a matchup. I think the second point is just less damage output for you.
Sure, that's a good point.
But I definitely, it's normally the Whirling Death plus reactive armor. Definitely in a side lane, you want to get at least 1 point in the Timber Chain, because you can use that to initiate and do a lot of damage. But I think the build he's gone is, yeah, definitely the build
The
that
correct
makes
build
most
for
sense.
this matchup.
Yeah. In mid lane, you maybe get the second point in reactive armor, but in the side lane, he's doing just fine. There's a gank coming in, and this will be a dead bounty hunter. It looks like. Is there sentries or dust? There's
Yes,
sentries
there
on
is.
Naga Siren.
Yeah. Yes, there is.
There's no way out.
And that's gonna be a kill going to Naga Siren. I think they could have allowed Timbersaw to pick that one up, but it's fine. Like,
Yeah, support's getting
somebody-
kills is like no big deal at all.
and you know that's something that you got to question yourself. 2 supports smoking from the top lane to bot lane undetected is,
Yep.
questionable.
And Stringby's still sort of doing okay. He's getting a bit out of his top lane now. He's up to 18 CS. Weaver just with 26 here. So even on his own, it's sort of a 1v1 matchup almost with Bounty Hunter. Sorry, not Bounty Hunter. The Enigma in the jungle and Rubik not really showing himself. So Bounty's rotated mid. He has level 6. He has track. And with a Sanity's Eclipse, I think they're going to wait for OD to hit 6.
Yeah,
Nope.
they're gonna track him up, but well,
Astral.
yeah, here comes a black. No Black Hole Malefice is gonna be available. They do Malefice him up, but Bloom is just moving way too
Alright.
quick. And the TP of Naga Siren will draw everybody away.
He's
OD
got
comes
Sanity's
to under
Eclipse.
tower.
He wanted to drop a Sanity's Eclipse on him. It would have killed him off, I believe. With the
And if
or-
Naga ensnared him right there, he was dead.
I think they really need to wait. OD was just one creep experience away from hitting level 6, and with that, even without the Enigma there, just Bounty Hunter and OD would get that kill on their own. So
Yeah,
they just
well-
rush things.
I'm not sure whether Zion's invisibility was running out. That could be the limiting factor. Like, they
Yeah.
couldn't have waited, so that could be it. And now Krilly's been farming quite well. He's got his Arcane Boost, level 7. Second point to Timber Chain. Seems like he wants a longer chain to work with. And,
Let's get as much damage output as possible to deal with the Bounty Hunter, who has picked up an Invis room, but this Bounty can't even farm up boots right now. He's got Poor Man's Shield and Bottle only, so he's struggling here. And Enigma at the bottom jungle, I don't see any way 1437 can really kill this Timbersaw, even if he ganks. Even if he uses a Black Hole, I don't think the damage output is there with just the 2 heroes. They need to bring in more than just Bounty Hunter.
with 6 Eidolons, perhaps. I mean, they do actually hurt pretty hard. I'm actually not agreeing with Zai's decision to level or to upgrade his Poor Man Shield. Maybe he started with a Poor Man Shield. I'm not sure, but Poor Man Shield against Timbersaw is quite ineffective. I mean, he's not never gonna right click you down with harass. He's gonna Whirling Death and things like that.
Yeah, I think you're best off just rushing the phase boost to help with
Yeah.
the lane last hitting as much as possible. And you can see he's been quite badly beaten as far as last hits goes. Chen going to get caught out here. It looks like this will be the first track of the game. Zai, track is up. Malefice is there. Shuriken to finish things off. Pretty basic kill there, as there's going to be a TP rotation coming from Krilly and Bloom. Is there detection? It doesn't look like they have anything. So much damage being stolen. This could be really bad for Infinity. He's going to have to use the Sanity's Eclipse. He's going to do so. Is there going to be enough damage? Arrow's going to land, and Timbersaw! Woo! Triple kill goes the way of the Timbersaw who TP'd in, and Razor Blom survives. OD had no damage. He drops the Sanity's Eclipse, does a ton of damage, but then you can't finish off the Razor after all that damage still.
Oh man, I don't know whether min-max damage was involved there, but you know, The Razor drops so low. Whatever the case is, he survives, and Dignitas falls apart. One of the most dangerous things to deal against in the early game is a Timbersaw that has this kind of start.
Yeah.
A safe lane, great farm, now a lot of kills, a lot more experience. He could just literally go around the map and just start shredding everybody apart. If he picks up like a point booster for HP right now, that's just scary.
Yeah, this is a very, very snowbally Timbersaw right now. Bounty Hunter come back spawn, and he's going to just be wishing he wasn't against this Timbersaw in a 1v1 matchup right now. And we've got to see just something coming out of the other Dignitas heroes. And they need to make Enigma get involved. He's got Black Hole. He's going to smoke up with the Rubik. And I feel they need track kills more than anything. Bounty Hunter may as well just ditch his bottom lane and go around with his ganking squad. But it looks like for the time being that's not going to be the case.
Well, looks like they're going to try to smoke up top here. Naga does have the Solemn Siren, so you have to catch her in whatever initiation that you have. 1437 is going to get the smoke cancel, although not revealed just yet. But, well, they're going to come around. There is a sentry ward down, but let's see if they're actually paying attention. Marana, can he leap? Oh, Marana needs to get a leap. Yeah, that's going to be a dead Marana.
Yeah, no TP's coming in. Stringby going to go down. Should just drop a Starfall. Yeah, he did drop a Starfall. I could have thrown an arrow maybe as well, but either way, he got up as much damage as he could before going down. Gets picked off, and, well, that's a kill for Dignitas, but it doesn't feel like a very important kill.
Yeah, perhaps they could get a little bit more. Zayas going very deep in the enemy jungle to look for something. Not going to find it. Top tower, though, now on the siege. Going to get brought down as well. Korok didn't last at that one, but up to 1600 go. I wonder what he is going to be going for. Lincoln's is, you know, the prototypical standard choice, but we'll see.
There's not a whole lot to actually block with the Lincolns.
Block static link and arrow, I guess.
Does it even block static link?
Yes, it does. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure on the mechanics of that one, but yeah, there's very it doesn't block arrow. That got
It
changed.
doesn't? Are you sure? They changed it?
They changed it. It no longer blocks arrow.
Okay.
So there is absolutely nothing really to block as a Weaver this game.
BKB, I guess?
I think BKB definitely worthwhile against the Timbersaw magic damage and just the general nukes throwing around. So I think this is maybe a BKB Deso game instead of the Lincoln's Deso.
It looks like we're going to see a little bit of engagement here. We're going to see a track coming out against Krilly, but Krilly is just way too tanky. He just gets out.
Getting close to his Bloodstone. He has enough for a Vitality booster soon. Still needs the Perseverance. And this is all, of course, depending on him just disassembling the Arcane Boots, which you generally do as a Timbersaw to get the Bloodstone as fast as possible.
Let's hope he doesn't end up with the Vanguard sometimes. You know, Arrow's going to hit on Korok top. Korok's dead.
Oh, wow.
Also, two players were exchanging a couple of harass. Korok decides to back off first. Arrow straight up. And that was it.
Strangby's played some good games on this Marana. He played the hero yesterday as well, and likes to go for this to just sort of treads, drums, kind of offer a lot of utility towards his team. And right now, Dignitas just struggling to find answers to a number of these different lanes.
Yeah, usually he goes for Arcane. I guess maybe saying that Krilly's got Arcane, so I don't have to go for one. I'm not sure what the decision making for to skip out the Arcane this game. But we're going to see well, here comes a possibility of a black hole. They're going to zone him away from the tower. Anybody going to go for the tower denied just yet?
They denied the tower. Are they actually going to chase this? They weren't really chasing it. I think they rushed the song a bit. There was only Korok actually who'd gone past, but
neither of these heroes were really going to die.
Yeah.
So they wasted the song, got the tower denied against them. Team Dignitas winning slightly there on the bot lane.
Slightly. They had to bring in, what, 4 heroes? Almost everyone was actually in the bottom lane except Infinity on the OD, so still not entirely worth it for him. And this is an OD who actually doesn't have a lot of farm. Taking a quick look at him, we're not looking at any sort of a mech or a 4-star that soon.
Okay, we're going to see PPD hitting himself up to level 6. The spell that you want to seal this game is either Sakuchi or Chakram against a push, so we'll see if it's going to be having such luck to
Sakuchi on
find
his
it.
own team, so no Sakuchi.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
The
So
Chakram.
basically just Chakram.
Arrow not bad in some situations, but I think Arrow's okay if you're looking to help your team initiate. And right now they don't have very good initiators, so Chakram would be fantastic. Arrow would be
Really,
slightly worse, but still very good.
really so far does have Chakram as its last spell being cast. Not sure if PPD has been paying attention for that.
He's gonna avoid the Rubik. Now, if Rubik runs forward, could just straight up die to a
That's true.
Naga Sign and Snare. Zaya's just rotating around back bottom. I feel like he's rotating around, but he has no solo kill potential. He has to gank with his team, and
He does have a double damage. That may change things here. Marana, though, with the leap and safety under his tower, he should be
this is a
absolutely
T1 tower. Unless they see that the raiding team has no TPs, which is not at all the case. Everyone has a TP except Chen. Not that you want your Chen to generally carry TPs around. And they'll be this Mirana should not be getting dived here. Otherwise, I'd say it's a bit of a mistake from Dignitas.
And Zion now circling around. He will see a courier. That's a dead courier. Pops the double damage, but no, the courier goes back, and well, that was not being micro. Now Broomski in a little bit of trouble. He's still not microing his creep just yet. Need to drop a tornado ASAP. He does drop one, but he's absolutely dead. Hand of God still alive. Right now, Ensnare comes on. He's not gonna backtrack.
No time lapse.
No
He
time
was on
lapse.
cooldown. And Zai, he's dead. It looks like they have vision of him. No, no more. He walks out of the Sentry Ward range and what a player.
That was
Boomski.
a shock. Yeah.
Skill shotted.
Unfortunately, they traded 2 for 1, and they lost a tower. They did get Bounty and Weaver though. That's 2 core.
Yeah, I think
So-
that's 4FC's win regardless. Even though they lose a courier, they lose their Chen, but they killed 2 cores for a support. These towers are kind of getting low and chipped away anyway, so they're losing these towers somewhat regardless. And well, this T1 middle tower, it's going to be 4FC following this up with 2 core heroes dead. They're like, well, this is an uncontested tower,
Well,
surely.
No, it's a Blink Dagger available now on Enigma with 2 or 3 people teleporting in. That could have been a good defense, but they do see Enigma.
Yeah,
And,
I think they've seen the Blink Dagger. They're not going to be positioned such that they can get caught, I imagine. Rubik steals the Whirling Death, so no Chakram. And Trilly. He's almost got his Bloodstone, just 300 gold away from it.
Yeah, once that Bloodstone is online, he is pretty magical when it comes in and just basically does whatever he wants. Rarely will get picked off. Infinity got no item. He's got no mech. He's got no Force Staff. He is just really, really far behind.
Yeah, the Dignitas core heroes, I don't feel they got as greedy this game, but their laning step didn't work for them. OD Infinity really struggling at mid against the Razor. Weaver, Korok is meant to be their safe lane farmer, but he's 1 and 2, and the solo kill by the Mirana was fantastic to slow him down, so feels Dignitas just in a bit of a funk right now. They're looking like they may go 0 and 4 in this group stage.
I mean, I thought they were one of the favorites in this group, but
No. Right now, I would say it's going to be 4FC and EG fighting over second place, because 4FC are actually looking like a decent team. Even though they got 2-0'd and beaten convincingly by Empire, it was still like, I think in all their other matches, 4FC have looked really good. And they should have beat DTS 2010 2-0, I feel.
looks like we're going to have Swarm scouting things out. Ooh, there's a track coming out from Zai. Zai in the middle here, and Chakram, that's going to hit on 2, and that's going to be dead 1. Infinity's going to be dead as well. There was a Black Hole available, 1437, but he
no
can't
blink.
go in. And he
Oh, he's
might
got
actually be forced to use it right now. He's getting zapped up by the lightning. A second Timber Chain is going to come out. Chakram slowing down 1437. They don't want to chase him. And that would be the hit. They
go
won the
back for
Roshan. Yeah.
Chen creeps out there. Weaver can drop a swarm in a couple of seconds here. He's also got 11 magic wand charges, but it looks like he's not going to go into contest this double sentry ward on the high ground. Man, these buggy sentry wards. I can click one of them, but not the other. I'm so confused by this. Arrow goes flying in mid. It looks like it doesn't actually land on Korok.
Korok's going to be going for that BKB, which is a nice item for surviving, but where's the damage output coming from Team Dignitas? Actually, just straight up, where is the damage coming from Team Dignitas? Is it just OD and that's it?
Eventually it comes from Weaver when he gets a Desolator, but you're looking a long ways down the road, and with 4FC's Chen draft, with the pushing strat they have, they can take down all these outer towers and just start getting ridiculously far ahead.
And OD's not even going for damage, he's going for a mech, so...
I think I guess Enigma could have gone for the mech. I'm surprised it wasn't Enigma going for mech.
Yeah, he's got Blink Dagger, which, by the way, still hasn't actually used it.
I'm also surprised he got the Trenkle Boots. I mean, sure, you can heal off some of the damage from the Soaring, but generally the Trenkle Boots themselves are a bit of an unnecessary purchase from a jungle hero, like Enigma.
Definitely want Arcane, I think.
Either, I just Brown Boots. It just...
Sure.
I don't think you
works
need
too.
to upgrade boots on Enigma in general until like late game where you maybe want boots to travel. Strength treads if you really want this HP, but
Well, game definitely not going well here for Team Dignitas.
it's not as a horrible deficit. They're only behind by about 3,000 gold right now, but it feels like it's about to just suddenly get a lot worse for them. 3,000 gold right now, but the way I see this game in 3 or 4 minutes is that gold graph could just take a big dip upwards and be looking like maybe a 4,000 or 5,000 gold lead, unless Dignitas can defend towers and take some good fights.
Well, they're definitely not the defending tier 1 mid, or tier 1 top.
Yeah.
If you look at the net worth graph, like the Radiant 3 core is just by far a lot more ahead. And this is one of those Razor games that I think is actually a Razor game because he's farming really well. He's leading the entire game in terms of net worth. He hasn't really died. He's been
They're
involving in
looking
a lot
for
of
Korok
kills.
at bot lane. Oh, Song catches him at the last second. They popped the Song there to try catch Korok after Shikuchi. They're going to go on Infinity instead. He's got Sandy's Eclipse. Is he going to actually drop this? You betcha he is. But Nagasaran takes no damage from it. Timbersaur's still alive, and Weaver, he's got no time left. He gets brought down. It's too late. It's already over. I think Enigma just straight up dies here.
Yep.
Oh no, this is
maybe
disastrous.
not.
Chen Hand of God helps keep them alive. Timbersaw is still alive. He's got no Bloodstone. He's got Aegis though. Chakram doing a ton of damage, and here's the Razor with a double kill. It's actually Marana who gets to. Rubik just TPs the hell out of there, and oh no, this is. I mentioned it's about to take a big swing in 4FC's favor, and that was a much bigger way than I expected.
Yeah, the Black Hole was nice. It was on target, except it came way too late.
Yeah, he was not there in time, and Dignitas are just looking very scrappy. And this is, I mean, this is what stood out to Ben and myself in MLG and is sort of showing here. Dignitas look like strong individual players, but they're not playing as a team. They're not looking like a team at all. It just looks like 5 players right now.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps that explains, or that has something to do with Fog not being here. Probably, you know, an integral.
Yep.
Integral?
You got that right for once.
Integral
Usually.
part of the team. I wasn't sure.
Yep. Not
'Cause I never
centrifugal or centrifugal.
Integral part of the team. He's not here, so maybe the team, you know, can rally behind the entire lineup. So
Krilly, his Bloodstone's online. He did have to use his Aegis there, but that's exactly why he's got it to begin with. And well, it's 14 to 5. They're going to grab themselves another outer tower, just one remaining, and well, there's that 5k gold lead going the way of 4FC all of a sudden.
yeah, and the net worth chart is
Yikes.
doing a lot better. Arrow, not gonna get hit there. No, back off. I think they could just rotate up top, take the tier 2 last, maybe go for the next Roshan, and then just death push it. Because Team Dignitas, as I point out many times, just doesn't have any counter push. Infinity all, he's gonna get caught out.
He still hasn't
dead.
even got his mech here, and this is a guaranteed kill on Infinity. He's got no real way of escaping. There's no TPs coming. This is just more damage to be stolen by Blom on the Razor.
I think that's a kill. I think that's a kill that you shouldn't get caught by because they just pushed down the tier 2. You don't see them backing off on the mid lane with this observe ward. Like, so what do you think? Where do you think they're gonna go? So I think farming there at that particular spot was maybe a little bit overzealous, but perhaps this is just a long day from Team Dignitas and concentration is already lapsing.
Yeah, it seems like they're just falling apart a little bit. There's still quite a while before Roshan comes back up, so like you say, 4FC probably going to go for the tier 2 top, but even after that, they want to keep taking fights, I feel, before Roche is up. Maybe even try and start sieging the high ground before they have an Aegis. I don't think they're in too much danger. Zai, though, he's in a ton of danger.
Why was
Brought
he
down.
there?
Is there a gem, or just, I think just straight up, they just
Sentry?
spot him out. Yeah, Sentry's
Yeah.
alone.
They definitely saw him walk past here with this
Yeah.
particular sentry, so
And they've warded up the entire dire jungle here, so there's nowhere really safe for Dignitas to farm, except, well, PPD's found himself in the enemy jungle. Why? I don't know why you're putting down these aggressive wards as a Rubik here. This is not helping you out at all, having wards in the, deep in the enemy jungle.
it does help 1437 because I think right now they want to do a little bit of split pushing in terms
Yeah.
of like, oh, let's draw some TP back, and you don't get ganked by any TPs because of that ward. So it does help in that scenario, but I don't think
It helps a
4FC
little bit. It doesn't actually see TPs, that ward. It can't
Well,
actually spot out the tower, so
generally TP forward if you are. Let me go and dive.
it sees maybe the edge.
Questionable.
It's very close to not spotting anything. But it is split push coming out from Dignitas. Weaver at top, Enigma at bottom, and well, 4FC say, well, okay, we don't need your T3 tower now. We'll come back for that later. Let's send Marana top. Let's send Timbersaw bottom and just continue on farming. Timbersaw's got 3k gold suddenly, Krilly. Strangby's got 1k gold with a Treads, Drums, Yasha. Like we've talked about, their net worth is just getting out of hand.
Yeah, I mean, this is the right way for Team Dignitas to try to claw their way back in the game. Do some split pushing. Hopefully, you could prevent that big push from coming in. There's a BKB up on Korok, so he's 4,000 gold away from picking up some real damage item. But I just really don't think that 4FC is gonna wait that long.
Alright, well, Korok's got his BKB. It's I think the one time where Dignitas have a chance at fighting is going to be his Desolator. That's where he can start doing a decent amount of damage. They have got, actually Enigma did go for the mech, so we're gonna basically we need to see OD go back for a 4-star now.
Wait, what?
Enigma has mech, so I don't think OD's not going to go for mech now.
OD just picked up the Buckler for value. Is that?
Maybe you get mana.
I mean, picking up for 800
oh,
gold
he's going
is just.
BKB.
I don't know. Is that just like really bad communication coming out from Dignitas?
He may have been going for the mech, but it was taking so long that 1437 said, "Look, I have enough money for this mech. Let me buy it," because he still couldn't afford the mech, even if he wanted to buy it right now. So
Yeah, Infinity did get picked off a couple of times.
yep.
So.
And he may get picked off again.
Korok up in top lane. It's going to eat an arrow to the face. Double Starfall. That's going to fly through, and Strangby finds yet another solo
Meanwhile,
kill.
behind the top tier 2 tower, it's Infinity they want. Are they going to get him, though? They need a bit more movement speed. He's got an Astral.
Yes, there's
Oh,
a chakra.
No way out. And they kill off Korok on the Weaver. I didn't actually see that kill, so that is
It was Strangby, again,
huge.
finding an arrow like through waves of creeps. And Strangby double Starfall after relief, and that was a kill.
That's a just straight up solo kill onto, at this point, the most important Dignitas hero. OD, he's out of this game. He's not going to be carrying, but Korok, Weaver, he's the one chance for them, but it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing that. Strangby's playing an amazing game. They're going to get the final outer tier 2 tower here at top. Morana's already TP bottom to continue farming, so he probably look towards him just pushing out mid lane, pushing out bottom lane, and then soon Roshan will respawn. It's about 2.5, 3 minutes away, and definitely see 4FC going for that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is a good time to talk about the new Dignitas roster as a whole. It seems like...
It seems underwhelming.
I mean, compared to the other rosters that perhaps got better over past TI3, this roster is just...
Yeah, I think it has...
Is it going anywhere, or is it just it's not gelling just yet?
I'm not sure. Korok hasn't been playing all that well as of late. I think he's just, like we've seen here, he's been solo killed a number of times. He's not having his best games. I think Infinity's a really great addition. I think he's a strong individual player, although we're not seeing it in this game. But right now, it's not working out for them. I think it's not gelling, and then combine that with the fact that they're playing poorly individually. 1437 having a couple of really bad games, like when he had his 10 deaths on Nyx Assassin and got caught out a ton. Korok's been playing quite poorly, so I think it's a mixture of it not gelling and just lack of confidence by individual players.
I mean, this lineup is one of those lineup that says we're gonna win games by outskilling you.
This Ursa, 2000 HP.
Yeah, because the PPD stole it once with a... Oh, Korok gets arrowed up again.
No.
Strangby is just a sharpshooter this game. He goes down. PPD's dead as well.
Well, this is it. I expected GG call any second now from Dignitas. They're going to lose Bounty Hunter as well at the top lane, and GG comes out. Nothing left in the tank for Dignitas here, and they go down to 0-4, almost sealing their fate in Group B.
Yeah, they're done. They're done. I don't see them clawing their way back.
They'd love probably to pull off some wins against DG, just being a North American grudge match of
DG's
sorts.
got fear of me.
But, I mean, I think that's the one match Dignitas, even if they're not making out of this group, they just say, let's just beat EG. Let's see if we can do that. But right now, it's 4FC, who are looking like a decent contender here. Do you think this was 4FC, like, I mean, obviously they played well, but do you think they actually looked really decent here, or was this mostly just Dignitas falling apart?
I think Dignitas is falling apart here. I mean, if they could split a game against CG, they could perhaps fight for last place, or the second place here on the group.
Yep.
I still think so.
All right, well, as things stand here in Group B, it's Empire 4-0, Dignitas on the other end, 0-4. 4FC, they're looking okay here.
3-1.
They're 3-1. I'm not sure what happened, but they're 3-1. Kawa, please. Kawa,
Wait,
please,
actually,
Bible
did
thumb.
4FC play against Empire today?
No. I haven't played Empire yet.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Our bracket
What's the
showed
first
them at...
series of the day?
That was, Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah, they have. They lost 2 games. What am I talking about? What's 4FC? They're 3-3?
3-3?
Yeah,
Okay,
3-3.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, I was wrong, as was Kawa. We were all wrong.
I mean, I'm looking at 4FC. If they split the series against EG, let's say they finish 4-4.
That's best case scenario. I think 4-4 is... It depends how the other matches go. I mean, if EG beat DTS and Dignitas, and they split 4FC, that means they're 5-3. Even if they lose to
assuming
Empire.
they drop 2 games to...
Yeah, assuming Empire goes undefeated. All EG has to do is beat DTS, Dignitas, and get 1 game against 4FC. So, it's at the same time. We're talking about EG having... This is a new roster. DTS actually look pretty decent. Dignitas have not. But I think both DTS and 4FC are looking like teams who could easily take at least 1 game off EG. So those 3 teams could all be looking in a very tight race for second place.
Yeah. This is actually coming down to the wire, which is definitely how you want your group stage to end up. So we'll see.
Well, not so much for Empire. They're smooth sailing, but
I mean, Empire is definitely the IP of this group.
Yep.
And Virtus Pro is, or Dignitas is the Virtus Pro of this group as well. So.
All right. Well, that concludes everything. Thanks for joining me, Lumi. For those of you who enjoyed Lumi's cast, want to give him feedback, want to tell him how much he sucks, be sure to follow him on Twitter at LuminousInverse.
Don't tell me how much I suck. I already know.
Also, he posts random fanfic about Eternal Envy, so if you're into that sort of stuff, be sure to follow him on Twitter.
That is definitely on Twitter, yes.
Yep.
At LuminousInverse.
All right. I'm at BTS Gods. If you want to get all the Chinese worship and praise that's out there on the internet, that's your one-stop shop. But that concludes everything for today's WePlay Dota 2 matches. We have 2 best of 2s tomorrow. We're looking at 18 CEST is going to be EG versus DTS 2010. And then we have Empire versus DTS 2010. So EG going to make their first appearance here at WePlay. Not sure what roster will be playing. We'll find out tomorrow. But be sure to tune in then. 18 CST and then 20 CST for our 2 games tomorrow. Thanks, guys. See you later.